The Force has left Lucasfilm. Again, Fortune magazine, the people who make the Fortune 500 list every year for decades and decades, and this is a major Wall Street financial publication. The Force has left Lucasfilm. What has gone wrong for the studio behind Star Wars and Indiana Jones, and how Disney's Bob Iger can salvage his $4 billion investment. When Iger acquired Lucasfilm for just over $4 billion a decade ago, it paired with the century-old animation company, with the studio behind Star Wars and Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yet the match made in heaven now risks becoming an albatross around Disney's neck. Again, I have not seen language this strong in a publication of this caliber. Fortune magazine, I don't think ever talking about Lucasfilm and Star Wars. Most publications have danced around this or said, things didn't go the way they hoped, or some fans had split the fan base. No, they are straight up, this ran the fans off in this. This is a signal out there to the financial firms, to the investment firms, mutual fund companies that own the largest of the Walt Disney Company shares out there that something needs to change, and it needs to change quick.
And sometimes you wonder too if Disney itself has said it's now okay to report this kind of thing. Like, go ahead and do this kind of stuff.
Exactly.
We need to get the narrative going.
Lucasfilm didn't respond to Fortune's requests for comments. It knows it's running out of excuses now that a movie based on a Nintendo video game, Super Mario Brothers, proved you can still rake in over $1 billion post-pandemic as long as you have the right concept.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Damn. That was a shot.
I felt that from here.
It was tingly. We're all tingly all over. It was
Man.
Duh.
Man. So they go on to Lucasfilm coming back to theaters for the first time in years. This is the first Lucasfilm release in the cinema since The Rise of Palpatine back in 2019. It's been 4 years. And of course, they have to look at it and go, the critic response from Cannes is terrible. This is Lucasfilm's first foray back into the theaters in 4 years, and this is what we get. This is the tenor of this article. I mean, this is what they're going after Disney for. I'm not sure how many fans want to see Indiana Jones as a broken, helpless old man who cowers in the corner while his patronizing goddaughter takes the lead. That would be Phoebe Waller-Fleabag Bridge. That's what we're given. It is as bleak as it sounds, wrote the BBC. It's gloomy and depressing.
The BBC, by the way, would be one of the most inclined outlets to support the kind of stuff that Lucasfilm likes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
At the heart of this mess is Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy. Damn! I have not, again, language like this in Fortune magazine. At the heart of this mess is Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy. Yikes. Being George Lucas's handpicked successor has not shielded her from criticism. A number of fans begrudge her, along with Last Jedi writer-director Rian Johnson, for deconstructing Luke Skywalker in the third trilogy. They even go on to say they deconstructed him. Again, you start to notice the language is exactly what we've been saying. People are now picking up on this, right? And I think that's the point. Then they go on to talk about the failure of the Galactic Starcruiser Hotel. But then here comes the bottom line. Could Kathleen Kennedy go? Following the disappointment of 2019's The Rise of Skywalker. Wait. I was told the movie did $1 billion, which was awesome. So it did great because it got $1 billion at the movie. But now Fortune magazine says it sucked. I don't get it. Sorry, I kind of had to go into that because it's funny when I finally see the financial trades catching up and like wanting to dive into this. And I realize this isn't something they usually do, but here they are. Numerous Hollywood creatives, Damon Lindelof, Patty Jenkins, Taika Waititi reportedly attached to new Star Wars projects, but to no avail. As a result, Star Wars universe has only lived on in Disney's streaming platform with mixed critical success. Because of the drop-off in interest, Iger and his studio boss, Alan Bergman, are now in a difficult position. The Disney CEO has not spared high-ranking figures like Marvel's Ike Perlmutter or Victoria Alonso, two very different situations.
Pixar since this was published.
They want to see Kennedy go in favor of somebody like Jon Favreau. Allegedly, negotiations over whether to renew Kathleen Kennedy's contract due to expire next year. That's 2024. We talked about this in 2021. She had a contract renewal. We talked about it all year. It happened in October. She did get renewed again. We were a little surprised on that. They're due to expire next year, but she has contract negotiations, allegedly, according to Fortune magazine. They're looking to renegotiate her contract in August of this year. A full year ahead. They're already talking about her contract. Pro.
Yo.
What jumps out at you about that?
Well, of course, we know that Kathleen Kennedy is coming up at the end of her contract. And we also know that we were reporting exclusively that we believe now that Kathleen Kennedy's contract negotiations have been moved up now. In fact, what we have heard privately is that those may begin to occur this time in August. And so I think there's a lot of buzz right now. It seems to me that there are some holes in the Swiss cheese that Mickey usually keeps a tight lip about.
Yep. So Fortune magazine is basically confirming what you've been discussing about this August timeline.
I mean, Fortune is right. And the thing is, we still need more big publishers like that to be talking about it. Yes. Because to me personally, I feel like they have so many people under their thumb that are too afraid to speak up. But we're all thinking it. At least a good majority of us are. Mm-hmm. Like, we all know that they are in the dumps, they're failing, and they are trying desperately to get out of this hole that they dug for themselves. Mm-hmm. And I sit here and I laugh at them with zero sympathy. Just like,
I don't blame you.
Oh, you're over there. Oh, let me just take this rope back up because, nope.
Mandy?
I think it's a dead IP. I think there's absolutely nothing from my standpoint that they could do that would make me come back. They've already killed off most of the characters that I liked. They're gone. That's canon now. They can't bring, Han Solo back. They can't, you know what I mean? They can't bring Luke back. They're gone. So, I mean, to me, it's a dead IP. I think Kathleen went on. There was a chance when she came in to start a new generation of Star Wars, to start new, but the way they did the characters killed it. It's done. It's over. I think now we need to just kind of dance on the graves of Lucasfilms, as they have absolutely demolished themselves by having somebody. The Force is female, doing all of that. I think it's time for us to just laugh about it and find something else to love. She burned it to the ground. It's ashes now. In my opinion, there's no coming back. They almost got me with The Mandalorian a little bit. But let's be honest, the reason I was watching it is because of a freaking puppet. It was because of Baby Yoda. That's it. That's why I was watching it.
You and everybody else, and that polish has come off.
Yeah, and it turned out to be crap too. So I mean, that's, in my opinion, that's where it's at. And I'm sad about it because I would have loved to have seen a new generation of Star Wars to come out within the world that George Lucas created. Mm-hmm. But I think that ship sailed. I don't think
we've reached the point. We've reached the point that studios fear the most. None of us care anymore.
Yeah,
it's dead.
Exactly.
And that's like, yes, if you're still mad, then the studio still has you interested. When you no longer care, that's when they really they've screwed the pooch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't see any comeback. Like I don't know what they could do at this point that would make me be like, oh wow, you know what I mean? Because I just don't care anymore. I don't care. So yeah, that's my opinion.
Well, the time of Bobby Ewing showing back up in the shower and poor Pam Ewing, it was all just a dream. That ship has sailed. I don't even think they could pull something like that out of their hat and people would be like, wow, that's cool. No, we'd be like, really? After all that you've done, after all, the Force is female and you can't tell us different, and we're going to put a big cross, over a big X on Luke Skywalker's face on a poster because it's about girl power now.
Yeah.
No, they haven't. And you think with that, you think they would be like, oh, that's going to bring people in. No, it has alienated their built-in generational female audience.
Yep.
And all the stuff that they have put out, I hate to say it, but I really think it is too little too late at this point.
I think you're right. I think the problem with Star Wars and Lucasfilm is that, and we saw the pictures, so I'm not making the statement blindly. That story group and everything else, the way Lucasfilm was restructured after Kennedy took control in 2012 and the way things went from there, they went Forces female because they wrote from a perspective of everybody that worked in that office. Everybody that worked in that office is from Los Angeles and San Francisco and everybody else, and they think this is what women want, because those women probably never watched Star Wars in their lives until they got a job at Lucasfilm, until they got hired by Kathleen Kennedy to come in and put the Forces female stamp of approval on it, right? So they wrote from a perspective of how do we get to all the women like us who never cared about Star Wars? Oh, I know. We will take a dump on Star Wars and demonize the men and piss off all the women, like those of you on this panel who grew up loving Star Wars, because there were strong women in there, and there were strong male characters in there. There were strong people in there. It was a simple story of good versus evil, and they decided we don't need that anymore. We need to build up this new set of characters by wrecking all of the old ones, because we don't know how to write anything else because we're not talented. And I think that's part of the biggest problem. But that's where we are
with most entertainment in general right now.
It is.
It's they're projecting their insecurities whenever that's not what we want to watch entertainment for. We don't want to see your insecurities. I don't care about your insecurities.
Exactly. Exactly. Finn could have been the coolest character ever. Yeah. Finn really could have been the coolest character ever. Look what they did to it. Look what they did. Look what they did. Rose Tico, are you kidding me? She's beautiful in real life, and you put her in a bag,
potato sack.
A potato sack. Are you? No, this is exactly what they deserve. I laugh every time I think of the fact of how much money Disney spent on this property to let Kathleen come in and just take a giant deuce on top of it. And now they're trying to charge $5,000 to sleep in a bunk bed. And now it's becoming a spirit, or what is it? Spirit of Halloween or whatever now.
Spirit Halloween at the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser.
It's gone belly up too, because they do not have a good, you could take everybody right now that is working for Lucasfilm and put them all in a room, and you would not get one workable idea out of the entire group. Because
they would think it's workable.
If they have it, they're too afraid to speak up on it because the ones in charge are Karens. So it's where
intersectionality trumps story.
Absolutely.
And you can intersectionality. Everybody has that. The groups have it, and then you divide. It's found within those groups, and then it's found within those groups, and then and it divides. It never unites. And if as long as that is your goal, and that is part of the really strong woke culture, you will never focus on, what is a good universal story that most people in this world can relate to. You're never going to have that, and you will never thrive as an IP if you don't. We've seen it over and over and over.
And last thing here, we're going to get to these super chats here as we kind of wind things down. Hang tight, folks. But I'll tell you this. I was honestly surprised that they completely shuttered the Starcruiser, apparently now permanently, because what I was expecting was when they closed it, I was like, hold off. They're probably going to rebrand this thing or do something. But then when they reported that, no, they're going to shut it down and basically take the write down on it. Like they're going to instantly accelerate all the depreciation that they can take on a tax write off. I'm like, holy crap. No, they're burning this thing to the ground. And part of that was, again, I don't think that would have happened. They wouldn't have gone into that much of a desperation mode, taking the write downs, and all this kind of stuff, had we not been in 2023 and had we not been 8 months away from Comcast coming in and just whooping it out and slapping it on that conference table and saying, pay me, Disney. That's what's going on right now. And you can see the desperation. All of these cuts from Disney Plus, from Hulu and everything else, they're drawing back. They're cutting them off. They're writing them off. They're writing them down. This is all about shoring up the balance sheet because they know they're not going to have much of a fight. Comcast is going to come out on top of this thing. They're going to walk away with maybe we're somewhere around, again, $20 billion of Disney money in a few months. And they're going to try to drag it out. They're going to have to get professional business valuations on this from third parties to say, because Comcast is going to say, we think it's worth $70 billion. Hulu. Disney's going to say, we think it's worth $30 billion. They're going to have to try to find a way to meet in the middle. But that is where we are with this. And quite frankly, I'll say this as before I get to the super chats here.
Renegade.